Right then everyone, welcome to another episode in Steve's Recipes. And what we're going to be doing today we're going to be making the Slimming World friendly pork and bacon Gala Pie. So this is a rindless Gala Pie, and the ingredients for this, where's my list? It's 500 grams of pork mince. Well, I'm going to be using 800 grams because that's what I've bought. Low fat content as much as you can. 4 boiled eggs, a couple of raw eggs to mix in with the mix to make it bind. Some herbs and spices, you can put anything you want in, sage, mixed herbs, oregano, anything like that. A splash of Worcester sauce, just give it a bit of a kick. I'm going to be using some ground chilies and some dried herbs, and then we'll cook it up. And then what I'll do now is I'll just go by the magic of television, and then we'll cut away and I'll show you the ingredients. So here we go. Here we have our ingredients. Well, first we'll start off. This is the mixing bowl I'm going to be using today, and then I've got a non-stick baking tray which we're going to line that later with some greaseproof paper, stops it sticking. Then we've got a variety of spices and herbs that I'm going to be putting in today. So we've got some Cajun seasoning, chili and garlic salt, some smoked paprika. I like this because it gives you a nice earthy flavour. Then hiding behind the peppercorn burger mix is some garlic granules, some Himalayan salt, and then for the inside of the Gala Pie we've got 4 soft boiled eggs. It doesn't matter if they're soft boiled because by the time it's baked it's going to be rock hard. Then we've got a little bit of tomato puree just to add a little bit more flavour. Then we've got our main ingredient. This is 800 grams of lean pork, so it's 5% fat pork. And then we've got the cooking bacon, cheap and nasty bacon, just to wrap it all in. So what you do is you line the baking tray with the greaseproof paper, then you line it again with the bacon, after I've trimmed all the fat off, that is, and then you put the mix in and put it into there. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll get it all set up, ready to go, and I'll show you the next steps. So here we have the mince. I've put it into the mixing bowl, and now we're just going to scrunch it around a little bit just to break up the meat fibres, because what we want is although we want a rough consistency when we put it into the baking tray, we don't want it to be stringy like mince as it is now, so we just break it up a little bit. And then what we'll do first is we'll put in the dry ingredients and give it a mix around. You see I'm using a glove on my hand. That's because I like to be food safe when I'm working with meat like this, because you never know whether you've got a nick or a cut, and there's 2 things that can happen there. You can give something to somebody else, and you can also catch stuff off raw meat if it's got any form of bacteria that can get in your bloodstream, and it's also hygienic. Right, so there we go. So that's the mix done. So now we're going to put a little bit of Cajun seasoning in. Basically I use all mine are flip lids except for this one. And the Cajun seasoning will just spice up a bit. You can do as little or as much as you want. It's all down to preference. The first time I made this I put lots of chili flakes in, and apparently I was the only person who could eat it because I like spicy food. So give that a mix in, make sure it goes in everywhere. Now we'll add a bit of the garlicky granules. I would have used garlic puree, but I appear to have run out. So garlic granules are really good. They'll actually go nice and soft when it's cooking. Gives it that background flavour, garlic flavour, brings all the flavour out. And then we'll put some of our peppercorn burger mix in. Actually got this from Canada when I was over there last year, and it does. I make my own homemade burgers, and they do taste fantastic. Even if I say so myself. So just mix that in, and the next thing to go in will be a splurge of tomato puree. Not too much. This is just mainly for just a background flavour. So there we go. That'll do, and that's oil free. That one. And if it appears to be a bit wet, don't worry, because it's going to cook down in the oven. I'll tell you all about the timings and everything when you do it. There's 2 ways when you're cooking it. You can just cook it in the baking tray, not all in the bread tin type baking tray, and what that will do is that will cook it, but it won't brown the outside. And the other thing you've got to watch out for is there will be a lot of liquid coming off this once it's cooked, and that is red hot. So when you do take it out of the oven, just be careful if you're going to tip it out and then put it back in to brown it, which is what I do. I don't brown it in the dish. Some people say that they do. Mine's got slanted sides, so I can't actually put it back in the dish. So what I do is I tip it out onto a lined baking tray and put it back in for 15 minutes just to brown the outside. So that's that part of it done. We just give it a splurge of smoked paprika. Look at that, that was handy. Don't want it not too much of that because it can be overpowering. And then what I'll do is I'll mix an egg into this, and then we'll crack in some salt and pepper and a bit of the garlic and chilli, because you can never have too much garlic, can you? Right, there we go, that's done. Right, so I'll just take the glove off. No, I won't. I've got to crack the egg in. I like old Boy Scouts, good Boy Scouts. I've come prepared. In goes the egg. We might actually put 2 eggs in here, but it looks a bit dry. Well, that looks a bit squidgy, so that's going to be alright. Yeah, that's fine. It won't need 2 eggs. 2 eggs would be too much. Right. So what I'll do, I'm going to just give it a quick blast with one of these. And that means I've got to take my glove off. There you go. And you'll find if you're making this for yourself, if you do it more than once, you'll work out what the quantities are of salt and pepper to your own preferred taste. And I find I do like to have flavour, lots of flavour in my food. I can't stand bland food. I mean, my idea of torture is a bowl of porridge, because it doesn't taste of anything, just bleh. So I put yogurts and all that sort of stuff in mine, fruit yogurts, especially the ones that are slim. Everything that's Slim and Will friendly you can put in this. Right, what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to get another glove. I'll be back in a second. Right, here we go. This is just the final mix, and then what we'll do is we'll clear away the stuff from putting this together. We'll get the baking tray. Oops, bit doesn't want to go in there, and we'll line the bread tin and plunk the eggs in, and then Bob's your auntie. Okay, back in a second. Right, just a quick cautionary tale. That was a 1 kilo packet of cooking bacon. Now the last time I bought this type of bacon, it looked like that, nearly all the way through. And this is what I can't use in the actual Gala Pie itself, which is already over there. And I can't use this because it's all too bitty and it's really fatty, so if it was really fatty it can't be Slim and Will friendly. So what we do now, we put a layer of the mixed pork mince in here. I'm using my hands now because I can't find the latex gloves. So we just put a base layer in, just pat it down. I have given my hands a really good clean, so I'm not going to kill anybody with germs. There we go, yay, we're nearly ready. Just pat it down, and then we're going to crisscross the bacon once we've done this. So that's enough for the base, and then we put our eggs in. Now, traditional Gala Pie, you'll notice, has the egg all the way through, and the way you do that is just by cutting the end off. Oh, cut the end off, there you go, like that. And then that gives you the nice end for the Gala Pie. This is these eggs come from my local egg farm in our village where I live in North Yorkshire. And we put this little bit of egg back in here because we don't want to waste not and want not. There we go. And then what you do next is you just pack the mince around the egg evenly, so that you get an even coat all the way around. And don't forget, we're going to put mince on top of this in a minute. There we go. There should be enough mince left now to cover the top. There we go. Just. And you know, we're not cordon bleu chefs here, so finesse is not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is something that's going to be nice and tasty. We just pat it down, and what's that's doing? That's actually pushing the egg into the base mince underneath. Just go that way, and then what you do next is you lattice the bacon across the top. What we'll do first is we'll just put these slices on extra, just to make it a little bit better. So just put these down the middle. Like that gives them something to stick to. All you do is you just lattice them over. And what happens is, as the bacon cooks, it actually tightens up, and by latticing you're pulling it all together. Oops. There's a fatty bit there, I saw that. But I was trying to be economical with the bacon, so I got the oldie bacon that I've got before. When we make this for ourselves, and it's one of them ones, it's a bit hit and miss sometimes, and this was a miss, which is, I mean, it's disappointing to an extent, but it's one of them things. If you're going to pay like £2 for a kilo of bacon, then you're not going to get the best bacon on the planet, are you? I wish. So there it is. That's it, all ready to go into oven, and we'll just piece of bacon. All I'm going to do is bacon them out to trim it all off and make a sort of bacony pasta carbonara type dish. Too much fat on there. Put it off. And it is ready. So we're now ready to put the pork and bacon Gala Pie into the oven. I've preheated the oven to 200 degrees, and we're going to put it in at 200 degrees for 45 minutes. There we go, and that's all popped in the oven there, and we'll set the timer for 45 minutes. There we go, and in 45 minutes we'll take it out, have a look at it, tip it upside down onto the tray it's on now. That's why the foil's on there, and then we'll cook it for another 15 minutes just to brown it. Right, now the 45 minutes is up, so we're just going to take the pork and bacon Gala Pie out of the oven and bring it across and let's have a butcher's. So here it is, all in it's nice and cooked. But you see all this white stuff, that's from when the bacon has been brined, and the pork, there's some fat coming out there as well. You can see the way it's shrunk around the edges. What we're going to do now is tip it out, but before we do that we're going to tip out the juice. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm tipping the juice out into a pan in the sink which has got water in it, because if you put red hot fat down the sink it could damage the plastic fittings, or red hot fat could damage plastic fittings. And then we bring it back. Just get my big and going for me. Yeah, see, that's just the brine. That is. It doesn't look very appetising, and it's not, but it's what you normally get out of cheap bacon. So what we'll do now is we'll tip this out. Always tip it away, because you don't want it to splash you want it to go somewhere else. So there we are. So there's the paper inside the sink, and then what we can do is we can just scrape this off. This actually cooks off when it's cooking. But you see it looks nice and juicy coming out of there. This will burn Have you noticed scraper off? It's harmless enough, but it doesn't look very appetising, I don't think. And if you look at the bacon there, you can see that where we trimmed all the fat off, and now the bacon, although it was all bitty, we're going to put it in, all the bacon's sort of melded together into one bit. Oh, there's a piece of fat there, I missed that. We'll just whip that off while we're here. It's all melded together, okay? We'll just put this back in the oven, and then we'll come back in 15 minutes and have a look at it once it's cooked. When we do, I'll be having a lump of it for my lunch. Right, so the time is up. Here we go. So there's our pork and bacon Gala Pie. Hot out of the oven. And we just need to transfer that the chopping board. There we go. So you can see all the there's all the juice that's come out, and then what's baked off is the rind. So we'll just move that out of the way. Into the sink with you. And then the proof now is going to be into the pudding, and we're going to cut a piece off the end that I can have for my lunch. There we go. Hot out of the oven. And there it is. A big lump of deliciousness. I'll just lift that end up. Oh god, you can smell the garlic. Right then, the proof, as they say, is in the pudding. So now, big knife in one hand, fork in another. That slice I just made, I'm just going to cut a chunk off. This is a greedy person chunk, and I'm going to taste this. Oh. That is, I've done this 3 times, and that is the best one I've made. It's absolutely, oh me, wow, that's absolutely fantastic. And you know what's made all the difference? The difference is between that little bit of smoked paprika that I put in there and the burger mix. So the burger spices that especially designed to go on burgers, put that in, that has really pushed the flavours out, and it's really nice. So I hope you've all enjoyed watching me show you how to make pork and bacon Gala Pie, which is slim and world friendly. And thank you very much for watching, and there'll be another movie along as and when I decide to make one. I have to fit this in round work, you see, because I'm self-employed. I don't know when I'm going to have time to knock out a movie, so I'll do them as and when I get the opportunity. But thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow my stream. Thumbs up. Love it, the stream.